What's up, guys? So we're a few hours after the official live stream that GGG put out at 1 p.m. Pacific time. If it was 4 p.m. my time, I'm on Eastern, and so I just watched it a couple of hours ago, and I was super excited about the new patch, the new season. Excuse me, not new season, new league, and I was gonna watch it again just to kind of highlight some things that I was excited about and make a video about it. But I thought, you know what? Let's just do this live. Let's go through it live because as I was doing the video, I was like, there's a lot of stuff I'm excited about because there's a lot of new content, a lot of cool new things that are coming out in this league. So I figured, you know what? Let's just go through it with my community. Let's talk about the things we're excited about. So yeah, we're going to jump into it. Let's do it. All right, let's jump into it.
In the Necropolis League, you will encounter Undertaker Aramor, a man collecting the scattered spirits of the Eternal Empire for a mysterious purpose. These spirits have begun to haunt the monsters of Rayclast, unleashing their ancient fury and sorrow.
I saw the Roas, and I was like trying to
the Undertaker will
scope out to see if I saw a white Roa.
Family heirloom which can illuminate the wrathful spirits haunting monsters throughout Rayclast. With it, the Undertaker hopes to employ you to rid Rayclast of this menace, and further his cryptic cause. The lantern can be used when entering any new area. When peering through it, you can examine the spirits haunting that area. The lantern also allows you to manipulate them, letting you configure which monsters are affected by which mods.
This is pretty cool.
It would be wise to take your time with your decisions here, for the spirits are not forgiving. When peering through the lantern, you can also see extra details about the packs of monsters in the area. Roas here are considered common, whereas the water elementals are more scarce. If you want things to be easier, you can put the more difficult spirits on the elementals, which you'll encounter less often.
Excuse me.
We've tried to make sure that by engaging with the lantern, you are able to intelligently control the difficulty in the Necropolis.
See, I like this a lot. I like the fact, because one of the biggest complaints with the current league is that the difficulty was really, it pretty much went from like 0 to 100 kind of out of nowhere. You know, all of a sudden, oh, everything's good, and then everything's one-shotting you. So it's really cool they're doing this, allowing you to kind of intelligently scale the end game and the maps and the the dungeons that you're going into.
It's come in a number of forms which represent the danger they pose. For example here, the infested vultures are servant haunted, causing them to deal a small amount of increased damage. But the Vol's Vanguard are noble haunted, causing them to deal a large amount of increased damage. As you reach higher level areas in Rayclast, the tier and number of spirits that are haunting monsters will generally increase. Your game knowledge can help you here. If you're aware of the composition of a monster pack, this means certain mods will be easier to manage.
See this?
For example, the mod that increases a pack's damage.
This I have a slight issue with, and the reason being is because most players are not going to know monster composition unless, excuse me, unless they did beast crafting, right? I mean, you might have a general idea of like what monsters do what, but like most players are not going to know what different monsters do, and it's seems like this particular part of it is very punishing to new players or people that are just maybe don't focus on these sort of things. Like I mean, just by looking at this, I mean, I recognize the chieftains there. I mean, those guys, I know that, and then the devourers, but like the rest of these enemies, I have no idea. I mean, I know these guys are spiders, but I mean, I just by looking at this list, I wouldn't know what monster, what affix to assign to what pack. You know what I mean? So this part I'm not too crazy about.
For every monster killed has no effect on packs with a single monster, like a devourer. However, if we found a spirit that makes the strongest monster in a pack deal 100% more damage,
yeah, Blood Chieftain, yeah,
I'm going to avoid the devourer. You might have noticed that the Lantern of Aramor provides other useful information, such as the types of abilities.
See this right here, this is really cool, and well, you'll see why later on, once we get to that part of the video. But this leads me to believe, just seeing this ability here, leads me to believe that we're gonna see recurrence of the the crazy specters that we had in this league. So I'm obviously can't confirm it yet, but just seeing this right here, and there's a couple comments that the announcer makes. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he makes during the live stream that make me think that's gonna happen again, which would be awesome because that was super fun with the crazy specters.
The damage types they deal. So for those who are less familiar with how these monsters work, this can be a great way to learn what you're up against. The spirits are constantly moving throughout Rayclast, so if you are finding a campaign area too difficult, you can just wait a few minutes and peer through the lantern again to see what's changed. Of course, powerful spirits beget powerful rewards. There are 2 reasons why you might want to face a challenge now and then. Firstly, not all the spirits are malicious. Sometimes the monsters aren't haunted at all, but are instead devoted. These can grant basic rewards like increased experience.
What I don't understand is what if these numbers, like what these things on the side mean, if they mean anything. Because I saw that I thought maybe the higher number would be a higher tier of monster, or spirit, but the one that we saw before, the one that the guy was highlighting, this had a 4, right? And this is like one of the chase spirit packs that we won, and this has got a 1. So I'm not really sure what those numbers mean or represent.
Seer, an NPC that will grant you a single unique item after you defeat all of the packs affected by that spirit. The more haunted monsters you defeat in the previous area before using the lantern, the more likely the devoted monsters will appear in the next area. Monsters haunted by higher tier spirits will increase the chance of the devoted appearing even more, meaning that sometimes it's worth putting the hardest modifier possible on very common monsters, if you're brave enough. Again, we've tried hard here to allow players to customize the danger and rewards as much as they can.
Which I like that a lot.
Aramor is an Undertaker, and you can probably guess what we're taking to him. The second main reward from the Necropolis League is monsters with unresolved anguish. Once slain, their corpses need extra care from the Undertaker, and he will offer to take them back to his necropolis and store them in the morgue. Time to earn your keep. When you are ready, you can visit the morgue to view the monsters you have collected.
So they're cool. I like the way that they do this. This is super cool.
One of many graves in Aramor's
this
cemetery.
part is awesome. I'm so excited for this.
We will bury this Katava's Herald. Aramor's mysterious soul experiments can
this crafting system looks so cool.
Here I've chosen to create a pair of boots.
Of Lunaris, heal your pains and aid this soldier, so that you may grace them with fleetness.
So I feel like this is going to add a ton more
exactly what I hope for.
Crafting options, and it's gonna open up crafting to. I feel like it's gonna open the door to crafting for players that maybe are not that great at crafters, or maybe never really, crafted much. I think this is a really, really cool system, and I hope this sticks around because this is cool. I like this a lot.
Crafting system really shines.
What I've seen of it, but it seems like it's really cool. I don't know. I guess we're not going to know until we actually play it. But
in fact, all collected corpses do. If you bury multiple corpses in the cemetery, all adjacent corpses can be exercised at once to create one item. All of the crafting effects on those corpses will apply to that same item. This allows you to have either one or many different crafting projects ongoing in the cemetery. For example, next time I try to create boots, I could bury corpses that increase the chance of getting move speed modifiers. To go further, I could use these to generate higher tier modifiers. Then, I could try to bias it towards being
I'm curious, like, how do you keep track of what crafts you have going, though?
I'll apply some crafting effects that improve the probability of
like,
getting
is there a
good
certain
rolls.
number of options that you can do?
Let's craft our item and see what we get.
No, it looks like, I guess once you just hover over the actual mound, it looks like you can initiate the crafting screen.
As you can see now, we have a much better pair of boots, forged from the souls of our enemies.
From the souls of our enemies.
You could even use the entire cemetery to craft one item.
Which is kind of cool.
There is always something you can do to try and ensure your item will be as best as it can be. We hope to see some really crazy gravecrafts.
I wish I would have hovered
If you're
over
lucky,
that to
you
see
might
what
find corpses with
affixes it
metacrafting
gets.
modifiers. These can be buried to manipulate your crafting projects in more drastic ways. This one increases the potency of all crafting effects of adjacent undead corpses. Another metacrafting modifier gives a chance to drop an extra item from your craft, with all the same crafting outcomes applied. All you have to do is bury a lot of undead monsters.
May the ferocity of Throldana free you of your anguish and aid this soldier, so that you may shield them from harm.
You can also craft new unique items exclusive to the Necropolis League using this system.
It's cool.
As you explore Rayclast, you might find the corpses of famous Eternal Empire families. And when you bury an entire family together and exorcise them, they will thank you with a unique specific to their lineage.
May the painters and poets of the Navalius family spread the story of the Eternal Empire far and wide, so that all may...
For example,
Man,
the
these voice
Navalius
actors are
inheritance
just
belt.
so on point for this
I'll
this
give you a
game.
moment to check that out.
That's a pretty cool
You
belt.
can use other corpses alongside them to grant implicit mods, manipulate the values of explicit
Master
mods,
skills
and
are
more.
risky.
In this case, with the Parandus Pact, you can even change the modifiers it generates.
Oh, that's
This
cool.
unique is a jewel which adds extra stats to passive skills in a radius when socketed into the passive skill tree. The stats it adds are randomly generated, but you can bias it towards a specific type by using other crafting effects, such as this one, which increases the chance of getting life modifiers. Let's see what we get.
So how many? So can you only do this once, or can you keep trying to craft on this until you get it?
Damn, we didn't get it this time. I guess we're gonna have to go and collect more corpses. Of course, you can trade the corpses away to other players. All you need to do is purchase empty coffins from the Undertaker and use them on your corpses in the morgue, which will itemize them.
So this right here, this makes me think of how the corpses were in the Affliction League, right? So we get these corpses in the morgue, right? And then we can, I have a feeling that we're going to probably be able to buy, well, I mean, you can trade it. It says you trade it, but I feel like these specters these corpses may not be as broken or crazy as the Affliction League, but I feel like this is gonna be really, really cool.
Another item in the Necropolis League that you can find are Embers of the All-Flame. These are monster spirits that remain living in the All-Flame, a powerful ancient artifact of Rayclast. And you can set them free by placing them in the Lantern of Aramor and defeating them. These embers drop throughout Rayclast as itemized packs of monsters. You are able to use these packs to replace the packs in areas. For example, we have found this All-Flame Ember of Tarfoa. We can now go to enter the next area and replace one of the monster packs in here. You can see we have also gotten one of the devoted modifiers to appear. We can pair up the Karui ancestors with this modifier, making them even more rewarding. Let's go ahead and replace the Tentacle Miscreations. However, when replacing packs, you want to double check their density, as the new pack will inherit the density of the replaced pack. The Karui ancestors we have now added to our area can even drop basic variations of tattoos.
Which is really,
If you
really
aren't aware,
cool.
this is an item
Tattoos
type
are
from the
so
Trial
cool.
of the
I really
Ancestors
wish that
League,
would have went
which can
core.
be used on passive skills to change
But
what
it's
they
cool
do.
that they're bringing it back in this league.
There are many different types of itemized packs. You can find Breach and Legion monsters that drop splinters, Untainted packs that provide insane amounts of experience, and even simple frogs, which can be used to replace difficult monsters to make life easier. And of course, these Ember monsters can be raised as specters too.
The reference to specters.
Finally, let's discuss how this league works in in-game maps. Each in-game map will allow you to manipulate it using the lantern on the map device UI. However, instead of randomly cycling every few minutes, it is fixed to that map. Once you view the map through the
Hold on,
lantern,
what did that say? What did that say? What did that one specter say?
In-game maps. Each in-game map will allow you to manipulate it using the lantern on the map device UI.
Pause it when it gets to
However,
it.
instead of randomly cycling every few minutes, it is fixed to...
Oh, okay, I saw the red text and I thought it was another
That map.
ability.
Once you view the map through the
Burning
lantern,
ground,
you cannot
slow down,
remove it from
definitely
the map
burning ground,
device.
flame hell,
So you
okay.
can't trade that map away now that you've seen it as too difficult for you, or has monsters in it that you'd rather avoid, like porcupines.
Porcupines.
We're also trying something new this time around. During the Necropolis League, there will be support for the League on the Atlas passive tree. Multiple clusters will be there, allowing
Which is
you
cool.
to enhance
I like
the
this a
gameplay,
lot.
customize it, and even change its behavior in meaningful ways. One way that you can change the crafting in a meaningful way is with the Prospero's Wager Keystone. With this keystone, all the monsters with unresolved anguish come with this crafting modifier, which causes them to generate a random craft when buried.
Rare crafts are more
This
common.
means instead of pre-planning your crafts, you have to adapt to them on the fly to get the best results. These clusters will not be available in Standard
300%
League.
rarer.
In 3.24, we've made a plethora of changes to the endgame. We're introducing new bosses, adding another tier of maps, and streamlining the Atlas. The most difficult and most rewarding content in Path of Exile can be found in Uber Pinnacle bosses, such as the Maven and the Searing Exarch. Currently, the only way to access these bosses is by allocating specific keystones on the Atlas passive
Yeah,
tree.
you gotta spec
While
for it.
this system offers a nice element of control, it causes a problem. Rewards and access to the non-Uber variants are now economically priced around the rewards of the Uber fights. This means it is wasteful to run the non-Uber variants instead of simply selling them.
Yeah.
Another problem that we noticed is the difficulty jump between the Pinnacle and Uber Pinnacle content was relatively large.
Yeah, it's a lot
And there
harder.
wasn't obvious
Well, I mean,
content that could bridge this gap.
Uber.
Many players would give up on their characters before being able to defeat the Uber Pinnacle bosses. In 3.24, we will be making some changes to this. We are removing the keystones that give access to the Uber Pinnacle bosses from the Atlas tree, and instead we'll be adding a new set of fragments that give you access to this content. Where do you get these fragments? We are adding a new tier of maps, Tier 17 maps, which
That's
not
so-
only give you access
That's
to
cool.
the Uber Pinnacle
I like
content,
that.
but also test
I don't like
your
the number
characters in
though. I
new
wish I
ways.
like 16.
They feature a new set of
17's
bosses, Uber monsters,
well, I feel about tier
and a new
17.
tier of modifiers that can roll on the maps.
The maps look like the actual
There
just
are
display.
5
The maps
new
looks
tier
really
17
freaking
maps in
cool.
total, with some surprising boss fights at the end. We'll look at a couple today, and the rest you'll have to discover for yourself. First, we have the Citadel map. This map contains an ancient Kalguran citadel. You will encounter many expedition monsters as the signature packs throughout the map. At the end, you will fight Uber Uhtred. This
Uhtred,
is a
son
version
of
of a boss from
Uhtred.
Expedition League, with all its abilities and mechanics enhanced.
You don't get that
Uber
reference. We
Uhtred
can't
will
be
even
friends.
be able to summon 2 other expedition bosses to aid it during the fight. Secondly, we have the Fortress map. This map is an impregnable fortress.
See, I never
guarded
really
by
did
monsters from
heist,
the
so
Heist
I
League.
I don't.
At the end,
I
you
don't
will
recognize
encounter
this
an Uber
boss.
version of the Unbreakable. Again, it has enhanced abilities and mechanics you'll have to learn and
Or maybe he
overcome.
looks completely different. I don't know. I never
Each
really did
of the Tier
heist.
17 map bosses has a chance to drop a unique item, allowing for some target farming. However, these aren't entirely new unique items. Instead,
That was a
we've taken
cool,
other
like,
unique
MTX
items,
that came up
removing
for the
them from
boss.
core drop pool and rebalancing them to fit here. One example is this reworked version of Wraith Lord. It has 4 abyss
Right
sockets.
here. Right here. This right here is why I think that Spectres is going to be insane this league, because with this helmet, right? So now we can have so if we put a ghastly eye jewel in each one of these sockets, I feel like this thing's going to be crazy expensive. I feel like this thing, I mean, I don't know, maybe it won't be as good as no, this after we saw how ridiculous Spectres was in this past league, unless we just don't have access to any of the Spectres or any of the caliber of Spectres that we had for Affliction League, maybe it won't be as crazy. But the fact that with this helmet, right, and it also gives +2 to all minion skill gems, right, +1 maximum respectors per socketed ghastly eye. Wait. Okay, for this item, right? Because I was thinking maybe a Darkness and Throne, but it sounds like it's just for this item. I mean, yeah, that has to be how that works. With this, right, and then if we get +1 specters on our chest, and then I think if we do Death Attunement on an amulet, I think this will let you have 9 specters, which is insane. So I'm super stoked about this. So this right here, when I saw this item release, it was like, I was excited but also irritated at the same time, because I was pretty dead set on doing subtractums, ball lightning, like mana stacking build that he's put out and he's been advertising on his channel. And then I saw then I saw this and I was like, yeah, I think we're going minions. Because this is, having 9 specters, that's so crazy. I'm so stoked for this.
And allows you to summon
This
an
is so
additional
cool.
spectre for each Ghastly Eye jewel socketed into it.
Yeah, it's
Another
socketed
example
into
is
it.
Mana
So
Storm. This has been rebalanced to grant a lot more damage than
I feel like this would be good for ball lightning, right? Or mana stackers, right? I mean, this seems like this is insane for mana stackers.
before.
I mean, I don't know. I never played the build, but it seems like this item would be insane for that.
Lucky rolls. Alongside adding Tier 17 maps, we have also changed the Uber Pinnacle bosses to have completely distinct unique item drop pools from their non-Uber counterparts.
Which I think is cool. Which I think is how it should have
been.
been.
To farm both versions. Let's take a look at the Shaper versus the Uber Shaper. The Shaper will drop these uniques: Voidwalker, Shaper's Touch, Solstice Vigil, and Dying Sun. Whereas the Uber Shaper will drop these: Echoes of Creation, Sublime Vision, Entropic Devastation, Starforge, and a new unique belt called the Tides of Time.
Let's look at this real quick. So I saw it on the live stream, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. So 285 to armor and evasion, 100% increased life recovery from flask, 100% increased mana recovery from flask. Flask supplied to you have a 25% increased effect. Life flask gain 1 charge every 3 seconds. Okay, it's like a baby mage blood, kind of like a mini mage blood. That's not bad.
Another example of a new unique is this helmet from the Uber Eater of Worlds, Ravenous Passion.
So 100% increased armor and energy shield, 43 to strength, gain 13 rage after spending a total of 200 mana. Rage grants cast speed instead of attack speed. Rage grants spell damage instead of attack damage. Oh. This seems like this would be really good for fracturing bolts. Kinetic, whatever the heck the name of that spell is. The fracturing kinetic bolt. Kinetic bolt of fracturing was the disfigured gem. Yeah, this seems like this would be really good for that.
And these gloves from the Uber Searing Exarch, the Celestial Brace. Each of the Uber
Melee
Pinnacle
hits
bosses has a new unique
strikes.
added to their drop pools.
Wait,
We've identified another, and these gloves from the Uber
1% increased attack speed per fortification, plus 8 to maximum fortification. Melee hits from strike skills fortify. That's pretty cool. So melee build's getting some love. That's cool.
Searing Exarch, the Celestial Brace. Each of the Uber Pinnacle bosses has a new unique added to their drop pools. We've identified another major problem with the endgame we'd like to address. With every expansion added to the game, we have been increasing the complexity of running maps. It's at the point now where a player must repeatedly execute a large sequence of steps to run maps efficiently. It can be easy to forget critical steps, and it can be tiring to repeat them.
Alright guys, I'm tired.
To solve this, we are removing some
I feel like
systems,
I'm getting sick,
but are
so
keeping what is
my
good
voice
about
sounds
them.
all jacked
The
up.
2 main systems we've removed are Sextants and the Master Mission Selector. It is not our intention to dull the content, however. We have completely reworked Scarabs to include most of the options that were previously covered by those mechanics, and many, many more. Let's take a look at some of them. Commonly, you might find Scarabs that simply grant access to different content. Here, we have a Scarab that causes Beyond Demons to spawn when killing
cool.
monsters in your maps. And here, we have one that adds a Delirium Mirror. Each type of Scarab now has multiple versions, so if you want to fully invest in a type of content, you can do so. Here's a suite of Ultimatum Scarabs. This Ultimatum Scarab adds an ultimatum encounter to a map. This Ultimatum Scarab of bribing then causes that ultimatum encounter to grant better rewards and its monsters to yield more experience. This Ultimatum Scarab of dueling will cause that ultimatum encounter to always guarantee the Trial Master boss fight at the end, assuming you can survive through all the rounds. This Ultimatum Scarab of catalyzing will cause all rewards from that ultimatum to be catalysts, instead of other rewards. And finally, this Ultimatum Scarab of Inscription will cause all catalyst rewards from that ultimatum to be inscribed ultimatums instead. There are plenty of others.
Okay.
If you enjoy divination card farming, you might want to use these.
This one I thought was
Divination
cool.
Scarab of Curation causes more divination cards to drop for each different favored map you have selected. But it also causes whatever map you're running to only drop divination cards from those favored maps. So if you want to try and aim for your Mage Blood and don't want to just farm Crimson Temple, then this Scarab is for you.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This Divination Scarab of
So you don't have to
Completion
freaking
causes your
farm
divination
Crimson
cards to have a
Temple ad
20%
nauseum.
chance to drop as a full stack instead, for maximum dopamine.
Which is really cool.
Basically, there are now just a lot of Scarabs. You might have also noticed that they no longer have tiers. Scarabs are now all world drops. You can get them anywhere. Some might be rarer than others, but the intention is that there'll be a lot more options than before, and more interesting combinations to consider. If you want to target specific Scarabs, Betrayal has been updated to include most of them, and you will need to relearn which ones come from where. While this system is allowing you to heavily invest in one type of content, it is reducing your capacity for variety. To address this, we have massively increased access to content on the Atlas passive tree. You are now able to reliably get different leagues like
You just get
Breach
100%
or Legion
Breach
from
there.
just your Atlas passives.
Can get basically
Regarding
100%
Master
Legion.
Content such as Incursion,
Kinda
Delve,
cool.
Betrayal, and Bestiary, these too are now accessible with Scarabs, and have more reliable investment options on the tree. Not only this, you can now get Jun, Einhar, Alva, and Nico to appear together in the same map. We have also removed some keystones such as Wandering Path, Grand Design, and Growing Hordes.
Rip, Wandering
But I've
Path,
added some
and
new
Growing
ones too.
Hordes.
For example, Unwavering Vision,
20 at. Oh.
Back to Basics,
Your mass penalty between 0 and 8% modifier effect.
and Thorough
Wait, hold on.
Exploration.
Let me go back and read that. Can be modified fragments of the divine vessel. So this is basically the new wandering path. But it gives 20 Atlas. I mean, that's kind of cool. I feel like everybody's gonna go this in the beginning.
Back to Basics.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to finish reading this one. Have been applied. Your maps randomly have between 0 and 80% more modifier effect. Extra content cannot impair your maps. Cannot apply influence to your maps. Okay.
And Thorough Exploration.
If there are fewer than 50 monsters remaining in your maps, the final map bosses are powered by affliction wisps. This is cool. This is cool. I like this a lot because I feel like this is like taking the good things of Affliction League, some of the good stuff, and not getting like the crazy nonsense that we got with just the magic find and stuff.
And we have added some new notables such as Remarkable Relics, which allows you to try find better variants of Scarabs.
So better scarabs.
Mounting Modifiers, which increases the values of modifiers on your maps by 2% for each explicit modifier. And Tainted Carapaces, which is just one in a set of many that allow you to target farm specific types of Scarabs. These are just a few of the many new notables that can be found on the Atlas passive skill tree.
The Atlas looks way
Lastly, we are
different.
giving you more flexibility in what content you want to run in the endgame. In 3.24, you can now have multiple copies of the Atlas tree,
This
which
is
can be
really
swapped
cool.
between maps at your leisure. You can unlock up to 2.
So I like how they did this. Just a little jab because they knew how ridiculous Magic Find was this league. So that's funny that they did this.
Extra trees for a total of 3 by progressing through the endgame and completing core content.
Yeah, this is cool. They let you do
When
this.
you open a map, you can select which tree you would like to use.
So now you can
For a
have
given
multiple
league, you'll never
characters
feel
that you can
constrained to
use
playing
different
your endgame a single way. You can
different
also label your
different
trees
map
to
strats
easily
for different
identify
Atlas
which one
strats.
has which content.
All right, and that's pretty much it when it comes to just the core stuff, the league stuff. The rest of the video is basically just going over the new supporter packs and just some new things that are changing in the campaign, and that stuff is kind of cool, but I don't really want to focus on that. The more stuff I wanted to focus on was on the end game, you know, and just all the new changes that are coming to the league. Really exciting stuff. I'm super stoked. I'm definitely going to be league starting minions. All of the new Spectre things just seem to be insane. The new Wraith Lord Bone Helmet seems to be amazing, or it's going to be amazing. So really stoked to check it out and to play the league. Can't wait for it to come out. So but yeah, that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell so you know when I upload new content. I make bi-weekly content about various gaming topics and news, you know, and then I make a lot of Path of Exile videos as well. So, but yeah, thanks again, guys. You guys have a great night, and we'll catch you later.